I heard the coolest story really not long ago. This actually happened to a young man that lives around here where we are at Crossbrand. He was standing in the line to buy some groceries. There was a young mom. We don't know if she was single or married, but she had several kids, and the kids were babies. And so they're screaming and trying to run off, and here she goes trying to pay for those groceries. And sure enough, she didn't have enough money. So she reached into what she had already checked out, pulled it back, and ran it across the scanner, or would try to figure out what she could afford. And unfortunately, it still was not anywhere near the amount that she could afford. And so there was a gentleman standing right behind her, and he said these words to the cashier. He said, "Hun, I've got you covered." And she broke down. She tried to thank him, but he said, "Hun, I've got you covered." You know, the thing about that resonates with so many of us right now. There's been many times that maybe you or I have been in that situation, how embarrassing it is. But you know, I just made some notes on that, if you'll allow me to put my eyes on. She needed food. Number two, she could not pay for the food. It was very evident. But number three, someone else got her covered. You know, this is so indicative of our life in Jesus and where we're at right now. You know, all of us have a need, not just for food, but we have a need for peace. We have a need for forgiveness. All of us have that deep down need to know our Creator and to be forgiven, because we're all sinners by nature, sinners by choice. Number two, we can't pay. We can't pay. You know, First Peter talks a lot about the payment that was provided by God the Father, and it was not a matter of money. It was not a matter of the old Jewish sacrifice system, but ultimately, we cannot pay the debt that we owe to our Creator. But finally, we need somebody else to pay, and His name is Jesus. There was a great statement made by Paul to the Romans, and he said this: "Blessed are those whose sins are forgiven and whose sins are covered." And guess who he was talking about? Jesus. God loves you. God sent His Son to save you. He has got you covered. Jesus has got you covered. And that is the bottom line.